What is going on, guys? How y'all doing once again? This is the Club of the Man 1993, back here live on a Tuesday evening to talk about last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. It's the third Raw review I have done since I've returned to reviewing weekly WWE content, except for NXT, and I'm having a ball. I am having a ball and loving doing these reviews again. AEW, yes, they picked up a lot of steam last week for sure, heading into All Out, but definitely the buzz on WWE is hot right now with Triple H taking over. And again, things are still changing. There's a lot more changes to come. We didn't have any surprise returns this week, even though I did hear a couple of rumors, but it's okay not to have a return every single week. But I thought this so far, in my opinion, was probably, I still give Karrion Kross's return on SmackDown a week and a half ago my favorite moment. But this so far, besides SummerSlam, may have been my favorite episode of Raw so far in the Triple H era for sure. There was a lot of things that really got me like, yeah, that's right. Especially that Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre promo and whatnot. And also, I gotta give a shout out to a very special somebody, haven't really talked to him for a while, my good pal, Robbie Kenobi's in the live chat saying, Mikey, good to see you again, buddy. Referring back to the days of Bobby Lashley telling Sami Zayn that, Sammy, it's good to see you again, buddy. Sounding like Barney the dinosaur. Tyler also mentioning how the main event should be the United States Championship match. That, my friend, I completely agree with, of course. And Robbie also saying, I've been thinking, man, with Triple H in control, creative, and his resume in effect, is this a sign that it's time to bring back it? Hashtag please sign Robbie. Well, Robbie, there was a brief time when you were mentioning, my friend, where how, some other wrestling promotions should sign him because WWE would not respect your creative. So it didn't go away completely. But I will say now, I definitely would trust WWE with taking in your storylines and your accounts. There's definitely a lot of ideas. I'm sure you would love to have some good fantasy booking ideas, especially with Triple H in charge, that you would like to pitch. And a lot more talent rumored to be coming back too. So, yes, let's get it trending again. Hashtag please sign Robbie. Let's get that trending again on Twitter, please. Let's do this. And also, we have Wrestling News 365. Here, Triple H reached out to a superstar that's under contract, and they said they're happy with their police in AEW, or they're happy with their place in AEW. I did not hear that. I don't know who it is, but I don't think Triple H is going to have any luck trying to pull anybody from AEW to come back to WWE. I'm sure he would love to, and I'm sure there are some people in AEW who would love to go back to WWE and work with Triple H. But I think for now, they're staying in AEW for now. But it would be nice also. And here's a rumor that Doudrop is getting her name back to Piper Niven, and Pete Dunne especially getting his name back too. I've heard a tease for Pete Dunne, which I'm wondering could be happening maybe in the UK at Clash at the Castle. I did also hear rumors about Doudrop as well. But I did also read that they may not be doing like repackages and name changes until after the draft. But that's two names right there, definitely. Also, Robbie, I hope you stick around, buddy, because I did randomly think of a brand new song last night while watching Raw. It's dumb. It's a parody of a Christmas song, but I don't know what made me think that. I just said one line, and all of a sudden, like, there's a new song. I'm like, where's Robbie? So I don't know if you're still watching, Robbie, but I'll talk about it when that person does come up later on in the review. But I'm doing good on time right here. I do have my trivia I usually go to Tuesday nights, so I have about 45 minutes. So let's talk about Raw. It took place in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., home of the 2019 World Series champions, the Washington Nationals, which most of those players have gone on to greener pastures. I just got rid of Juan Soto. They got my boy Luke Voigt, though. And they got Nelson Cruz, but he's basically been a shot in the armature. But anyways, enough about baseball. Let's talk about Raw. Again, I still probably gave this the best grade for Raw since I started reviewing Raw again for the past few weeks. And again, I am not regretting it. The audiences have been hot. I've got some, decent, some decent company with these reviews. And again, as I want to continue to say, thank you guys for sure. Because like I keep saying, again, I am almost done with my Harry Potter Let's Play and my Seinfeld reviews. After those, I was honestly considering cutting back a lot because I was just getting burned out. But this right here, like I keep saying, this all got the fire going for me again. And I had to be excited for new stuff. So I don't know what I'll be doing after I complete those projects for this channel. But again, right now, guys, I'm just having a blast. And again, part of the fun also is because of you guys as well in the live chat. So make sure you guys keep your conversations going in the live chat. I hope to hear from you continuously as we keep going. But let's talk about Raw. So, we opened up with the Judgment Day, which we may not be hearing this entrance song for a while, because I think the goal is to... I could see the storyline with Edge taking out the Judgment Day. I think it's gonna happen, because I think, even though, again, the thing is, I love the idea of having those three together. But I still think Triple H is going to, end the Judgment Day and, give all three of them their own direction. Which is fine. I still love that song, though. If you believe yours is the only way. Yeah, that's easily became one of my favorite songs, of course. The Other Side by Alter Bridge. I still have the version when Edge had it as his theme song for a month or two, or a couple more months, because he had it before WrestleMania. But they came out. And Rhea Ripley runs Raw. Rhea Ripley says that they run Raw, and that's been a harsh reality to the Mysterios. And she proved to Dominic that she really is his poppy as she destroyed his soul. And basically, choked him in a very awkward looking position, but, Finn Balor mentioned how everybody loves Mysterios, but he doesn't get it. He's afraid he's got sad news for all of us. Ray and Dom aren't here. And it's because poor little Dom and his soul crushed last week, and he destroyed the Elder Mysterio in the middle of the ring to further solidify his legendary status in the business. Damian Priest mentions how next week he's going to end Edge's career in Toronto next week. And asks the crowd they want to see Edge now. Too bad, because he ain't here either. He's in Toronto promoting their match next week, which I hope is the main event. Should be the main event. Just like this show, they didn't get the main event match correct. It should have been the U.S. title. But Priest says he doesn't need anyone at ringside to deal with Edge. And he'll put the final nail in Edge's coffin all by himself without the Judgment Day with him. Toronto will no longer be Edge's hometown. It'll be the place Damian Priest sent him back into retirement. Which would be an awesome way to, but I'm not ready to see Edge leave yet. Even though I'm not sure who else he really has to face, I still don't feel ready to see Edge leave yet right now. So, I'm thinking Edge is going to win, but another match where that heel turn from Dominic could happen, who knows. But he keeps talking a moment longer, and from out of the blue, Rey Mysterio comes in and attacks from behind and clears out Finn Balor and Damian Priest. But then Rhea gets back in the ring and stares him down, begging him to hit her. You think Rey Mysterio is going to hit a woman? But Rey then sees Finn with a chair coming and cuts him off and beats him down with his own chair shots to Damian Priest as well. But then Rhea slides in again to taunt him, which was enough then for the Judgment Day to get Rey and beat him down and leave him lying in the ring and getting medical attention. Which, by the way, they did mention hospital in this show, I think once or twice. I even tweeted this. I think WWE has mentioned wrestling, mentioned fans, and mentioned hospital probably more than the past 3 weeks than they have in the past 30 years. Because it's words that Vince McMahon could not stand. Again, I would just love to just walk up to Vince McMahon, have him sit there, and just get in his face and say, hospital, wrestling, briefcase, belt, fans, like all these, or pay-per-view, because it's a premium live event, not a pay-per-view. But I would just love to get in his face and say all those little words and show, hey, it ain't the end of the world here, right? You know? But, so we have that. And then the first actual wrestling match we had at the show was another first round match of the women's tag title tournament. Asuka and Alexa Bliss take on Doudrop and Nikki A.S.H, which of course, hopefully those names will change soon. Here's the thing, actually. If they would change the names, I wouldn't mind seeing, Piper Niven and Doudrop still be a tag team. I do think there's something there with them being a tag team. But, change the names first off, especially Doudrop. Oh, God. And, of course, get that superhero gimmick off of Nikki. I love to see, Psycho Nikki again, but... And then Alexa Bliss and Asuka, they're just, they're kind of a duo part of a storyline with the same, enemies with Dakota Kai and Io Sky. And the match was decent. Like I said, the problem is, like I said, they need to establish some teams for me to care about. Which is another reason why, again, I was kind of hoping they would have, just surprised us with the teams. I feel like, that kind of has kind of like a big feel. It's like when you just reveal them right away, it's just like, it didn't feel special. Like, I would have rather gotten some surprises. But, of course, now we have, and of course, as we thought, Asuka and Alexa win with Asuka getting Doudrop to tap out. Afterwards, Bayley and her cronies come on stage. Bianca came out to, support her tag partners for Clash of Champions. And the trios faced off, and then, of course, referees separated them. They've really built this up to be like a big bloodbath of a match at Clash at the Castle, which is going to be excellent. Would be nice if it was like no holds barred or like tornado tag or whatnot. But like I said, I'm still feeling War Games from this, which would be nice if they went ahead and did War Games with Survivor Series this year, maybe. But we'll see. We then had Austin Theory being interviewed. He's returning for the first time since SummerSlam. I heard Theory was away for a while because his uncle died. Rest in peace. He comes in and admits he may have had a miscalculation at SummerSlam, but he's still the youngest Mr. Money in the Bank, and he's wiser and more dangerous than ever. Up rolling comes Dolph Ziggler, who was teasing a match. Well, he was teasing something with Theory before Theory was absent. Dolph says he's gotten crushed every time, and that contract wasn't handed to him when he got it, and that's why it mattered when he cashed in and became world champion. Which Theory says, I love that for you. He loves that for him, but he's pretty sure he's not going to be around when Theory cashes in. Because of that, he says Ziggler's nothing more than an over-the-hill, no title has been. Of course, implying that, Ziggler's whole career has been a joke, which you can see, it was obviously bothering Ziggler. And he snaps, and they had this really nice brawl. And then we go to break, though, whenever they crash into the cameraman. That was a camera cut. And I'm like, nice! That was different. I like that. And then afterwards, we were brawling, too. But then, of course, during the brawl, we did see there was a door, and it had like a hand that just appeared on it. To which some people are speculating it was actually, okay, here's where I'll reveal my song. So some people are wondering, is rumors about Bray Wyatt coming back? I think right now, even though it may play some tricks on us, who knows? Maybe they could end up being a tag team together, who knows? I don't know. But I think it was Dexter Lumis. Because we did see him later on in the show. And he did, I like though how, because we did see him later in the show in the AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley match. I like how, we know it's Dexter, but they're still somewhat keeping his face hidden. Because it's keeping us guessing at times, but we know it's Dexter. But the song I made up, I just said, oh, it must be Dexter. And then, I don't know why, I just randomly thought of the song Must Be Santa. It goes, who's got a beard that's long and white? Santa's got a beard that's long and white. Must be Santa, must be Santa. Like that song. I don't know why. I said, must be Dexter. And I go, Must be Dexter, must be Dexter, must be Dexter, Dexter Loomis. Which, okay, don't make that his theme song, please. Which I know Triple H wouldn't do that, but I don't know why. That's my new song. Must be Dexter, must be Dexter. I don't know why. It just like connected easy when I said, oh yeah, must be Dexter, must be Dexter. All right, that might be my new thing now. We had, the Mike of Mike. We had the Lacey Evans song. I got my blonde hair, got my blue eyes, my big tits Vince loves. Now we've got Must Be Dexter, Must Be Dexter, Must Be Dexter, Dexter Loomis. Of course, we saw him, later in the show. But we had, of course, that big brawl, which would lead to the main event that would happen at the end of the show, which I was surprised because we'll talk about the main event when we get to it, but I definitely think the main event should have definitely been Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles in that U.S. title match, which was awesome. And plus, too, we had Dexter Loomis appear in that match, too. Well, they kept him very well hidden. We'll talk about that in a second. Anyways, though, we then see The Miz and Tommaso Ciampa backstage. And Ciampa says he came close to winning the title last week, but there are no participation awards in WWE. And next time he gets an opportunity, he will become champion. Miz then blames AJ Styles for interfering with the match and complains about how given a U.S. title, about AJ getting a U.S. title match tonight. But he wants to reward Ciampa a token of his appreciation with a necklace with a photo of them in the ring together. And they have matching copies, and Ciampa's like, that's awesome. And Miz says, they're awesome. And they make their entrances. A little corny, but Miz and Ciampa are still trying to make this like work while it lasts, basically, or whatnot. We'll see though what happens. Even though, like I said, it would still not quite make sense for Ciampa to win a singles title and the Miz is still supporting us. The Miz has to be at the top all the time. Like, why do you think he turned on Logan Paul at WrestleMania? But they had a match against a team of Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. I guess they're fine again, because remember the story where Cedric had turned heel on Apollo and Mustafa doing the Hurt Business. I guess they're cool again or whatnot, but Cedric first got an entrance. And again, can we please give Mustafa Ali his old theme back? I mean, I like his heel theme, don't get me wrong, but can we just give him his old entrance back and being a babyface again? But I thought him and Cedric had a great show in their match with Miz and Ciampa. Of course, everybody loved the ending spot where Ali went for a 450, but then Ciampa hit him with a flying knee and then caught him and hit him with the fairy tale ending. Not as smooth as AJ Styles catching him from the splash off the 450 and catching him going to the Styles Clash. And definitely not as good, of course, as the flying knee that Daniel Bryan hit on him at Fastlane in 2019 when he went for the 054. That's still one of my favorite bumps that Ali's taken. But yeah, so Ciampa and Miz get the victory. Wasn't the last we saw of them, though. We also got an update from Ezekiel, which we thought at first we were going to see him like disappear and just, repackage again, but no, we got Ezekiel being shown in the hospital after his attack from Kevin Owens last week, and we had like rest of Elias of him and Elias's family there. So obviously it was Photoshop, but then we had a segment with Ernie Jr., his dad, promising to give Kevin Owens a piece of his mind. Oh dear. I guess this ain't over yet, who knows. But speaking of which, we have Drew McIntyre show up. This was definitely one of my favorite parts of the night. Well, this promo was my favorite promo of the night. I still don't know which match I like better. I may have to give it to the U.S. title, though, because the match we got coming up here had a DQ finish. But it was okay, though, for a DQ finish. But we have Drew McIntyre come out. Now, first off, I mentioned in my SmackDown review, a lot of people have seemed to have given Drew somewhat of a gripe for him being the one that's probably going to win the titles off of Roman at Clash of the Castle, which would be a great time for Drew to do it. We're in London, we're in his home country, well, from Scotland, but still, it'd be a good way to make up for him not getting his WrestleMania 36 moment with the fans, as he should, which of course was more important back then, of course, for sure. But people have been giving a little gripe about his promos. which I said the reason why they probably don't seem as good is because he didn't have a story. Here, though, when he has a story, he really, connects, I still think. You can just feel the confidence oozing off of him. Especially in this promo. So he comes out and he says he knows it's a shocker to see him here on Raw since he's part of SmackDown, but it's more of a shock if the other guy were here tonight. But in 3 weeks, he has a chance to rectify that at Clash of the Castle, and that match is taking place on his island. So he's going to drop Roman's ass and win the titles and show up to every show because that's what the fans and the title deserve. He knows there's a report going around also that he has a back injury. And he has to be honest, it's true. At first I'm like, uh-oh, don't tell me he's not going to be in the match. Mostly because, though, he's been carrying the load of 20 men for the last 3 years, and he does it with a smile on his face, and it's a privilege. This isn't his job. It's a dream. And he's here on Raw to scout some future opponents. Like Drew McIntyre versus Tommaso Ciampa. Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. We only seen that one time, which was at TLC in 2020. Or Drew McIntyre versus the new Seth freaking Rollins. We saw that one a lot. I'm not sure about that one. Or Karrion Kross, who's on SmackDown. And then Kevin Owens' music hits. And the first thing I thought of was, oh shit, Drew just said back injury. Uh-oh. Kevin Owens, who took out Ezekiel with the pop-up powerbomb on the apron last week, I'm like, oh no. Oh no. But it was a great oh no. But Owens came out and says, you know what? I like the idea of wrestling Kevin Owens too. But Owens says that's cute. But he's never understood why McIntyre feels the need to come out here and pretend he's something he's not. He goes out here and talks with his comic big tough guy voice and comes out with a kilt and a sword like he thinks he's at medieval times. He's a real dumbass. Whereas Owens knows exactly who he is. He's Kevin Owens, and he's as real as it gets in this business. People might have forgotten what he's about, and for the last few years he's been coming to work and having fun, but something dawned on him earlier today. He got goosebumps because he realized that this is the same arena where he and Sami Zayn had the fight of their life at Battleground, which was a hell of a match. I still want that I Quit that match, though, between the two of them, though. I don't know if it's too late for that. May not be, who knows. But he thinks it's time to bring back the old Kevin Owens. The prize fighter Kevin Owens. And enough is enough, and it's time for a change. So he's coming after every championship, which he even mentioned too, because it was pointed out last week. Kevin Owens has not had any title around his waist in 5 years, whether it's a singles title or a tag title. He's never been a tag champion in WWE, but yes, he has not held a championship in 5 years. That's kind of cardinal sin, to be honest, because there's no reason why he shouldn't be put. Owens should have had more championship reigns, any reign at all whatsoever. But he's coming after every title, and he doesn't give a damn if it's Drew or Roman. He's coming after the biggest prize of them all. And then McIntyre gets on the mic, and this is where I really say, if you doubted Drew McIntyre's promo skills, this promo basically is like, you can take that thought and shove it back up your ass. That's basically what I got out of this promo when I listened to this. I'm just like, yeah! Like I'm sitting on the couch and I'm getting fired up. I'm like, you tell them, Drew, you tell them. But he said he is tired of seeing people make things up. People talk about him being the chosen one. That was 15 years ago. And then he got fired. And he worked his ass off to get back here. And work from the ground up. And WWE, I didn't call WWE. WWE called me. And he beat Brock Lesnar. He's a 2-time champion. And of course now basically you better stop it with that BS and he thinks it's time to stop talking, and they're wrestlers in a wrestling ring. Let's wrestle! And the crowd just popped, and Owens threw the mic down. It's like, let's go! And I'm like, that's right. Especially seeing Kevin Owens and this whole match that Owens and McIntyre had. Kevin Owens was the heel, but yet he was not a cowardly heel. That's like one big gripe I had from Owens' title reign when he was Universal Champion. Not only did him and Jericho face the same people every single week for 6 months, but he was a coward. Kevin Owens as a heel is not meant to be a coward. And I saw it in this match. I saw the NXT Kevin Owens we had. Him and Drew had an outstanding pay-per-view quality match that I could have seen it go either way. It truly had a fight forever vibe to it. Drew looked great. Kevin Owens was doing like swanton bombs and frog splashes and cannonballs. Like, not just like one or two, but like several of them. He was killing it. I'm like, why is this match on pay-per-view? Like, if you, like, they had one match, I think a couple years ago, I think it was on SmackDown. Drew versus Kevin. I can't remember who won it. And I thought it was solid. This, though, pay-per-view quality, and I could have seen Kevin Owens winning this. Like, don't get me wrong, Kevin Owens the past years has put on some great wrestling matches, but I can't tell you one of them, like one big profile match he was in, like any of his matches with Roman Reigns. They were awesome, but I couldn't go into that match believing Owens was going to win. I knew that they weren't going to put a title on Owens, but this, I could have bought Kevin Owens beating McIntyre in this match. It was awesome. It was, like I said, this could have easily been on a pay-per-view. But then, when McIntyre was lining up, well, first off, I was afraid the match was going to somehow end, or, you know, the post-match was going to somehow end with Kevin Owens doing the pop-up powerbomb onto the apron. Because, again, Drew said earlier, he's been dealing with some of a back injury. So, why wouldn't Kevin Owens take out his back? But then when Drew went for the Claymore kick, the Usos came out and caused a disqualification. McIntyre, though, rolled away and was able to, you know, fight them off. But then Owens came back in and hit a stunner on Drew and then told the Usos that the Tribal Chief owes me one and walks out. But then McIntyre was able to take them out. There was a botched spot, though, where it looked like he tried to clothesline one of the Usos over, but they didn't get over, and then instead they rolled under the ring and he tossed the other one right on top of him. But, yeah. That's the fire Drew needed. Like, if you want a story, if you want a reason to care about him again, like, this match right here, I'm just like, boom, I think he just got it right back again in that. The promo, the match, outstanding. Outstanding for sure. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then we have this. We have the return. Well, an exclusive interview with Matt Riddle getting mic'd up. Seth Rollins then came out. And he mentions how he wanted to be here when Riddle finally did the smart thing and told the world he's going to retire. He'll be able to do anything he likes. Go back and finish 7th grade. Or even maybe start a farm. To which Matt Riddle appears and tells Baby, bro. After they bicker back and forth for a bit, he then reveals he's been medically cleared to compete. He also says Seth is wrong. He is not in his mother's basement. The camera's back up. He goes, he's backstage, and I'm coming to beat your ass. And Riddle came out. No, flip-flops topped off. No scooter, no nothing. He came out and he brawled with Seth, which I like when he came out because Seth had a history of, having his number, stomping his head into the mat. Riddle tried to roll in, and Seth immediately went for the stomp, but Riddle backed right out and grabbed Seth, and they brawled. And, of course, Seth got a little bit upper hand, but then once, Riddle was able to recover, Rollins ran off. And then, of course, Riddle would challenge Rollins to a match at Clash of the Castle, and it's on. It was kind of a good idea to, not do the match at SummerSlam and postpone it. Get a little more heat behind it. Make it more personal. really bring out the more serious side in Matt Riddle. Yes, call him Matt Riddle again, not Riddle. Call him Matt Riddle. I like it. I really like it, and I keep saying this too. I really wouldn't mind them trying to do the opposite dynamics that we're going to be getting with the eventual match. I still think when Randy Orton comes back, Matt Riddle should be the heel. This serious side of him, I really kind of want to see what he would do as a heel. I really do. But yeah, I liked it, and I'm excited to. I'm really excited to see what they do at Clash of the Castle. Veer came out afterwards. Of course, they had a match against, I think his name was a jobber named Bo Keller, and he squashed him. I guess they're still pushing Veer. We'll see how that goes. We also have a segment with Dakota Kai and her pals being interviewed backstage, which also forgot to mention, we saw the hand earlier that I said, must be Dexter, must be Dexter. But we also, I think before Drew came out, we saw like a trash can that had like smoke coming out of it, and like one sort of things. So once again, must be Dexter, must be Dexter, must be Dexter, Dexter Loomis. Okay, I gotta stop saying that song now, but that's still like my new song. But anyways, we had an interview with Dakota Kai and her rest of her squad with Bayley. Backstage, she was then complaining about being asked a dumb question, and she said she's going to win her match tonight. But then they get distracted by Kai's opponent, Dana Brooke, who says she's ready 24/7 because she has the 24/7 title, which we haven't had a single 24/7 segment since Triple H took over. How about get rid of that 24/7 title? Maybe. But she's not afraid of them. Dakota tells her fear is a motivator, and maybe she should be just a little scared of them. But then we also had the match with Bobby Lashley and AJ Styles. Face on face, first time ever. And it was a great match. Again, definitely, I don't know. I mean, I still will maybe give this a rub over Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens, only because this one had a clean finish. But they had really good chemistry. It was a really great back and forth match. Some really good near falls and whatnot. Of course, the one moment though in the match that stood out was, of course, when Miz and Ciampa came out, trying to cause some distractions. I thought the whole thing with Miz and AJ was over last week. But then while Ciampa was distracting the referee and Lashley was kind of start jawing at him too, Miz went over to see AJ Styles, who was outside the ring. And he kind of took his time, tried to, do some damage to him. But that's when we see someone jump over the barricade, which, of course, was well hidden, but it was Dexter Loomis. And, security jumped over the barricade. And I loved how this was done, because even though, of course, we knew at this point it's Dexter Loomis, they didn't, make it obvious also that it was Dexter Loomis. And they had security jump on him, and the camera cut so quick. It wasn't a fade, it was a quick cut. It was like, oh no, someone's crashed the show. We had to go to a commercial break. Loved it. Excellent, again, another great camera cut right there. But of course, it was Dexter Loomis. Must be Dexter, must be Dexter, must be Dexter, Dexter Loomis. Okay, I'll stop. But anyways, during that commercial break, Ciampa and Miz both got ejected, and they were able to finish the match. And Lashley did win clean after AJ went for a springboard, but Bobby ducks under the ropes and then hit the spear to get the victory. Which was, again, definitely should have main event, especially with it being first time ever, a title match, and of course with the interference from Dexter Loomis in there as well. But yeah, so excellent match. Again, should be main event. Probably the match of the night for sure. Which is great to hear. I had multiple options for matches of the night for sure. Anyways, we also had then Dakota Kai beat Dana Brooke pretty quickly, as she should have. And then the main event was Austin Theory versus Dolph Ziggler. It was trying to be a pretty solid match. Again, the problem is, though, is that, Austin Theory, last time we saw him, he was Vince McMahon's handpicked protege, and basically, if Vince was still here, Theory probably would have successfully cashed in at SummerSlam, which would have been a horrible idea to begin with. But like I said, the reason why I'm glad he didn't successfully cash in or lose the briefcase, I want to see him keep the briefcase, but he's got to get some big wins. And although a win over Dolph Ziggler right now still isn't huge, because let's face it, Ziggler unfortunately has been booked as a certified jobber for how many years now? It'd be nice to see him get a couple victories. Well, the one he got over Chad Gable last week was solid. But, he can still put on a very solid match. I like that counter he had also into the Famouser he had, but Theory got the win, winning with the TKO, and that was the show. And he took some selfies with Ziggler in the briefcase and whatnot. So no returns, which that's fine. I did hear 2 rumors, though. The first one I heard was Lio Rush. Because I guess Lio Rush was posting some photos like him and Bobby Lashley and whatnot. But then, of course, during the show, it was at a moment where I felt like, okay, he's not coming back. So I thought that maybe he would come back after the U.S. title match, but he didn't. But then, of course, after that, I did see he posted something that he had surgery recently or something like that, so definitely get well for him. And the thing is I would not mind seeing Lio Rush come back. The only thing that concerns me is, again, it's like, ever since he left WWE 2 years ago, he's been like in and out. Like he's not stuck with something. So that's why I'm just like, he can come back, but is he going to stick around? Because like he came to AEW, he left and went back on the Indies, then went back to AEW again with that thing with Dante Martin, which was interesting, but then he left again. So I don't know. That's the reason why. The other one I heard was Nia Jax. Huh? Look, I do feel bad for Nia Jax because the way she got released was very uncalled for. She asked for a little more time off because she was dealing with some mental health reasons, and that's when she got the boot. I'm sorry, though. If she comes back, it would take a lot for me to actually care because I'm sorry. She didn't have it. She did not have it. She was just atrocious. I'm sorry. I was not the fan. I don't know Nia Jax. I can't remember what her real name is, per se. I'm sure she's not a horrible person. I just wasn't a fan of her work. So I kind of hope that one's not true, but I still will say that, again, they did her dirty for sure. But no returns, which is, again, okay. They can't have a return every single week. So leave the suspense. Like, maybe we may not see any returns until Clash at the Castle. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, that is my that's my review of Raw. I gave it a B+. Again, love some really great matches, some really good storytelling moments. Yeah, I love definitely so far my favorite episode of Raw in the Triple H era. Before we go, let's check the live chat really quick. Tyler saying he thinks A.S.H should be a 5-time WWE champion. I do agree. He probably could have had a few more reigns under his belt by now. I agree. Get rid of those women's tag titles. I still agree with that. If Triple H was in charge of 2017, Kevin Owens should have been a chicken shit heel as Universal Champion. I think you might say he wouldn't be a chicken shit heel as Universal Champion, which I agree. 27 titles should be retired. Had some funny moments with R-Truth, but I'd say it's time to go. I agree. Fire Horseface, and he would rather watch Nia's matches than Horseface's. By Horseface again, it's Tyler's favorite wrestler, Ronda Rousey. Sorry, buddy, I gotta get on that. But anyways. But that does it, guys. And again, remember, let's get the hashtag please sign Robbie again trending on Twitter. I will actually tweet the Triple H before I head out. Yeah, I love what I see. And don't forget, if you see another hand appear on your glass door, and you see another fan jump over the barricade during a show, Must be Dexter. Must be Dexter. Must be Dexter. Dexter Loomis. Okay, I'm going to get going, guys. I'm going to go play some trivia tonight and enjoy my eating. I had a rough day at work, so I'm going to go enjoy myself. So, guys, thank you all again for watching. Once again, guys, B+ for Raw. What are your thoughts on this episode of Raw? Which match did you like more? Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens? Or Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles, first time ever in for United States Championship? Or is there another match you enjoy more? Make sure you guys leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. And be sure, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. And follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirBoy93. Until then, guys, I am checking out. I will catch you all later. Have a great rest of your evening. And peace out, everybody.